Hey, honey.
Yes, Barry?
Let's get out of here.
Where are we going?
Where do we always go?
Fascina el viento, este ritmo de palmas, sin naturaleza, hasta encontrar la playa. Por eso grito al mundo, yo soy de Puerto Vallarta. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta.
Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. I'm your host, Barry Kessler, and I'm just so happy to be introducing you to my favorite vacation destination. Hey, maybe it's even yours, and that's Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. The music you're listening to is performed by Alberto Perez, and Alberto is the owner of the Lapa Lapa group of restaurants. Those are the Lapa Lapa, Puerto Vallarta's oldest restaurant on the famous Los Muertos beach, and the El Dorado Restaurant Beach Club right next door. So you can enjoy that fantastic view of the Los Muertos Pier, all lit up at night in beautiful colors, or during the day in its grand splendor for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, seated with your toes in the sand right at the water's edge. It's so romantic. It's so Puerto Vallarta, my friends. This week, I am going to introduce you to Johnny Ventura. Johnny has sold oysters on Los Muertos Beach for many years, and our friend of the show, Rabina Oliver, the swimsuit queen, brought Johnny to our attention as his health had taken a turn, and she stepped up to help. We're going to hear Johnny's story. And then you will meet my friends Bob and Denise McCuaig. They're from Kamloops, Canada, and I love Bob and Denise. They are a riot. You're going to love them too. They have some great stories to tell about their 20-some-odd years of visiting Puerto Vallarta. But before we get to Johnny and Denise and Bob, let's see what's happening this week in Puerto Vallarta, the 7th of January, 2022. Happy New Year, everybody. All right, well, it's been a little while since we met. I've been kind of busy in Southern California selling houses. It got really busy just as the New Year's came and went. My phone went wild, so I will do my best to get these out faster. But since we last met, the Puerto Vallarta City Council has reported on the cancellation. They reported on the cancellation of their activities for December the 31st. Well, here, let me read about it here. Puerto Vallarta City Council has indicated that by instruction of the Governor Enrique Alfaro, the activities that were planned to take place today on Los Arcos, the Malecon, have been canceled for the New Year's Eve celebration. This is an article from Vallarta Independiente. It reads, the activities scheduled for today in Los Arcos del Malecon are canceled. The program that the Puerto Vallarta City Council had prepared included live music, video mapping shows, and fireworks. So far, the authorities have only mentioned that despite having the corresponding permits to carry out these activities, it's been the Governor Enrique Alfaro who ordered their suspension. And I have a link to that article from the Vallarta Independiente in the show notes. Of course, that happened a week ago already. But there were plenty of private parties. There were lots of public celebrations all along the Bahia, regardless of what the governor said. I mean, you just can't keep down the human spirit. It's New Year's, everybody. You just can't do that. So have you noticed there's a little bit of an uptick in the, even the vaccinated getting the sniffles? Yes, the Omicron. Looks like fully vaccinated cruise ships are having some rare breakthrough cases that actually caused several ships to be turned away at ports in Mexico, including in Puerto Vallarta. The first ship was the Holland America's Koningsdam out of San Diego, and the second ship was the Carnival Panorama out of Long Beach, California. Let's listen to CBS 8 San Diego, and let's hear what happened to the Koningsdam right here.
A cruise ship that left San Diego for Mexico last week returned this morning after a change in plans due to a COVID outbreak on board. News 8's Brian White at the port of San Diego earlier today. he got reaction from passengers.
The cruise ship you see behind me is Holland America's Koningsdam, and it came back to port here in San Diego Sunday morning after Mexican authorities refused to let passengers get off the ship in Puerto Vallarta. After setting sail from San Diego last week with over 1,000 passengers on board, the Koningsdam made 2 stops in Mexico, both in Cabo San Lucas and Mazatlan, before arriving in Puerto Vallarta on Thursday.
We had our excursion all planned. We were waiting for about an hour to get off. They kept saying, we're delayed, and finally the captain got on and said, we're leaving in an hour, we're not getting off. That some of the crew caught COVID.
Holland America sent us this statement after the ship returned, saying in part, quote, a small number of fully vaccinated crew on Koningsdam tested positive for COVID-19. All are showing mild or no symptoms and are in isolation. Passengers were not allowed to disembark from the Koningsdam in Puerto Vallarta as the cruise ship was turned away after 21 crew members tested positive for COVID-19. That's according to Mexican authorities. Passenger Rosemary Capuano had this to say about the inconvenience.
I had tours planned for Puerto Vallarta and people to meet, and I couldn't do it. Okay. So that was, the low point of the trip.
From there, the Koningsdam headed back out to sea on its way back to San Diego. Holland America tried to make up for the inconvenience to passengers.
They offered us $50 extra to spend on ship. And basically said, keep your masks on and enjoy the rest of your cruise.
A new group of passengers boarded the Koningsdam Sunday afternoon as the ship prepared to set sail again for another 7-day trip to Mexico. Susan and Richard Gillespie are from Nipomo, California, and they felt safe enough to board the ship.
No concerns. I'm careful, and we're fully vaccinated.
We reached out to Holland America about the safety measures taken in order to safely set sail again today, and they responded with their standard protocols, saying in part, quote, current operating procedures require all team members and guests to wear a mask in all indoor areas of the ship, and all areas are frequently disinfected. I'm Brian White for News 8.
All right, you can find an embed to that CBS 8 newscast out of San Diego in the show notes. Of course, this happened, almost 2 weeks ago, but the CDC came out on Thursday, December the 29th, and recommended against cruising, regardless of vaccination status. How about that? They cited a number of outbreaks aboard cruise ships in recent weeks, which caused some ports of call to turn away ships, as you just heard there, or prevent passengers from disembarking. This report is from Vallarta Reporter. They lifted it from the New York Times. It reads, calling the CDC's decision perplexing, the cruise industry's trade group, Cruise Lines International Association, said in a statement that the number of cases on board made up a very slim minority of the total population and that the majority of cases were asymptomatic or mild in nature, posing little to no burden on medical resources on board or on shore. Before the CDC's warning on Thursday, Royal Caribbean Group, one of the biggest cruise companies, said its ships had carried 1.1 million guests since it had restarted U.S. operations in June, with 1,745 people testing positive. While the majority of passengers had mild or no symptoms, 41 people were hospitalized. Omicron is having a big short-term impact on everyone, but many observers see this as a major step towards COVID-19 becoming endemic rather than an epidemic, said Richard D. Bain, Chairman and Executive Chief of Royal Caribbean Cruises. Despite the increase in cruise ship cases, Mexico's government announced this week that it would let cruise ships dock at its ports even if passengers had tested positive for the coronavirus, and allow travelers to disembark on its shores if they tested negative. Our country maintains its policy of solidarity and fraternity, as well as the principle of non-discrimination towards all people, the government said in a statement. The health and tourism authorities remain attentive to provide the necessary medical assistance to those who visit us. The coronavirus wreaked havoc on the cruise industry in early stages of the pandemic, infecting hundreds of cruise passengers and workers and requiring the sector to shut down for 18 months. To begin sailing, cruise ships had to agree to the CDC's conditional sailing order, which is valid until January the 15th. On most cruises out of U.S. ports, almost all crew members and adult passengers are vaccinated, and masks are required indoors except for when passengers are eating or drinking, because magically that's when the virus disappears. I added that. I'm sorry, that's not in the article. Among the safety measures, the order requires, beyond submitting the daily number of coronavirus cases, is a prevention and control plan for each cruise ship. Most cruise companies do not publicly announce the number of coronavirus cases identified during sailings, but all cruise ships operating to and from the U.S. ports must submit daily numbers to the CDC, which uses a color-coded system to inform the public whether the number of cases is above or below the agency's threshold for an investigation. Currently, 88 cruise ships are being monitored by the CDC because of reported coronavirus cases on board. The agency does not publicly specify the number of cases on each ship. And, of course, I have a link to that information in the show notes from a Vallarta reporter who lifted it from the New York Times. Both publications you must be subscribed to and pay for in order to read the article, or any article for that matter. I just subscribe to one, and if you pay for both, well, good for you. News collecting can be very expensive, so there you go. And let me ask you something. Why are we requiring cruise passengers to be vaccinated again? I just don't understand. Yes, science. In a few days, I am hoping to hop on a jet plane in Tijuana and fly to Puerto Vallarta. I'll be taking a van from Los Angeles to the CBX Cross-Border Express facility, which is built right up against the wall that separates Mexico and the United States. Directly adjacent from that is the Tijuana airport, where I'm going to take a pedestrian walkway from that CBX facility right over the wall and into the Tijuana airport, where I will be performing my immigration and customs procedures right there. From there, I'll be able to go to the departure gate on the Mexico side of the wall. This time I am flying out Volaris, and I'm coming back Viva Aerobus. This is going to cost me $135 round trip U.S. I found a brand new listing for an Airbnb, so I took it out for 4 nights. I booked it for 4 nights. I'm going to need to find another place for the other 4 nights, but as I usually do, I'm going to just stumble along and find a place. I like to sleep around. No! Anyway, it gives me more places to share with you guys, and so that's what I'm going to do for the second 4 nights. I am a little bit worried about the location of this place, though. It's a block north of where the loud clubs are, of Mandala and Vaquita and the Zoo. It's just right on the Malecon. It's set back right behind the Banorte building. And it's got a shared lounge, kind of a rooftop thing. It overlooks the Malecon, but La Chata is right across opposite corner. It's going to be so loud. I'm a light sleeper, but I just couldn't help myself. The location was intriguing, so the bed hasn't been slept in really. So at least by hundreds of people by now. So we'll see. I've already packed my wax earplugs, and if I can't sleep, I just might be knocking on one of your doors out there around 2 a.m. You know who you are. You know who you are. You live in Puerto Vallarta, okay? Anyway, the room was $48 a night, so we'll see. But I'll make sure that I take pictures, and I'll take a video from the place, and I'll post it in the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show Facebook page, and that'll be sometime next week. Now, last week, I mentioned, was it last week or the week before? I can't remember which, but I talked about a sign that I saw when I was taking a blood test over at Laboratorio São Paulo, and it was for a COVID saliva antigen test. And the price was like 649 pesos, so about $33 US. And I thought that would be a great alternative to having the probe stick up your nose. So, as I said, I would check to see if the saliva test was actually allowed to fly in and out of the United States. And from what I could tell on the interwebs, it is permitted. So I'm going to do it. I'll try it out, and I will report back to you when I get back from this trip, from trip number 9. I'll be spending time in Yalapa, and I'm going to go to Tapa de Allende or Tequila, one or the other. That's kind of why I haven't made my plans for the last 4 days of the trip. But we'll see. But now, other things that are pretty exciting are coming up, I hope. I can't really share them with you right now, but when I get back, I hope that I will have something personal to share about my future plans, which I'm pretty stoked about, but I don't really want to jinx anything right now, so we will see. We'll see about that. But hey, for right now, let's get to our first interview, shall we? Several months back in September, I believe it was September, I read a post from our friend of the show, Robina Oliver. Robina was and still is the mermaid queen. And if you're interested in swimwear and you are in Puerto Vallarta, Robina has merch for you. So she delivers too. But anyway, this isn't really a commercial for Robina, but Robina asked anybody in a Facebook post if they remembered a beach vendor who worked over on Los Muertos Beach by the name of Johnny. Johnny with a great voice who would announce himself the way that Ed McMahon used to announce Johnny Carson's name at the beginning of The Tonight Show in the old days when it was funny. Anybody alive still remember Ed McMahon? I do. But I'm old, so. But she mentioned that he looked like his health was deteriorating, and she could actually hardly recognize him when she saw him. So she had been told by him that his knees were damaged from walking in the sand every day for years on end, selling oysters to tourists. And his vision was bad. He was in need of an eye doctor. He needed to have some dental work done. He basically was homeless, but kind of, in need of some help. So Robina posted about Johnny, and she's got a pretty good-sized social circle over on the face bags. So, or is it Meta now? I don't know. Whatever it is. Anyway, she got quite a response, including offers to help Johnny with some of his bills, help him out financially. But anyway, from that came the creation of a Facebook page called Johnny's Fan Club for Donors, where she gives updates as to how and where money, which she has collected, is being spent, and then how much is collected, how much is left over as a balance, and that kind of thing. And currently, Robina has taken Johnny to doctors for his knees, for a dentist, eye doctors. Anyway, I'm sure there's more missing here, but Robina found Johnny an apartment. It's small. I've been there, but it's clean and it's safe and it's right in town, right in the romantic zone of Puerto Vallarta. And very generous people have donated items to help furnish his little apartment. And what Johnny really needs is to be able to work again. And anyway, I'm going to let Johnny tell you a little bit about that. I met Johnny and Robina over at the apartment, as I mentioned. Robina made the introductions, and then she delivered a piece of furniture that had been donated for Johnny there. And then we got in her vehicle, and we made a taco stand stop, where I was able to make a plan to meet with Johnny over at Koningsdam just a little bit later in the day. And when I got to Koningsdam, I actually caught Johnny with a serving tray out on the beach, and I waved him over, ordered a couple of beers, and then we had a little talk about him. So let's go right now to my favorite seaside interview spot, where the webcam lets us know that all is well in paradise. Over on Playa Los Muertos. Yep, you got it. Koningsdam. And let's meet Juan Manuel Ventura Vidales, or you know him as Johnny. What's your full name?
Okay, my full name is Juan Manuel Ventura Vidales. But all of my friends right here in Puerto Vallarta, they call me Johnny. When I say, hey, it's Johnny, everybody knows me. Yeah.
You sell stuff on the beach, right, Johnny?
Yeah, that's right.
We're going to get to that in just a minute. But before we do, tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me, where are you from?
Yeah.
And what was your path that led you to Puerto Vallarta?
Okay, I'm from Michoacan state. It's next state from here. And I come to Puerto Vallarta in 2001. And I start working right here. And at what time, I know all of my friends. And we do a good friendship. And I work right here in Puerto Vallarta. Like I sell food, like oysters, lobster, shrimps, whatever the people need. So I go get it, and that's what I do.
Okay, so now I was always under the impression that what you guys do here on the beach is you kind of go, like if you're selling oysters. So where are you getting those oysters?
Well, I get it to the guy who sell oysters. As he's on the bridge, under the bridge, and I get the oysters from there, and bring my tray with maybe 6 plates or 8 plates or oysters.
Uh-huh.
And all the time we care about 10 plates, and we work with the 10 plates in my tray, and we asking for the people if they want to buy oysters for me. So that's what I do.
Okay, all right. So what if they want something else? What if they want like ceviche, or what if they want the lobster? You're not going under the bridge. Where are you getting that?
Oh, I go to the favorite restaurant. They sell ceviche and lobster and all kind of seafood, and I get it for the restaurant, and I bring it to the people, and so that way the people, they know they come from the restaurant, and the people is happy.
Yeah, that way they can tell that it's safe to eat, because it's coming from a restaurant. It's not just coming from, I don't know, someone's bucket out on the beach, right?
That's right.
Yeah. All right, so when you do that, you make the delivery. How is that done? Do they give you the money first and then you go get it, or do you go get it and then you bring it to them? How do you do that?
Well, when the people, I tell the people if they want a ceviche or any kind of seafood, and they want some, I go get the food to the restaurant and bring it to the people, and after I give the food, they pay me. Also, we do the job for tips.
Right. Okay. So you're making these deliveries, and they're tipping you for it, right?
That's right.
All right. So remember that. Just remember that when you see Johnny on the beach, make sure you tip him really well, because he's doing a big favor for you. You're just sitting there rubbing on your beach oil and taking in the sun, and he's doing all the work.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So. All right, so it's seafood. What if they want like a hamburger or something like that? You do that too?
Yeah, I do that. Everything, all kind of food. If the people want it, I go get it. If they want hamburgers, I go get hamburgers, taquitos, or any kind of food. So I know the place where I go get it.
Okay, so depending on what they want, you know where to get it, and it's always going to be nice and fresh and clean.
That's right, because we work for the people. So if the people want something, we got to get it.
Now, you spend a lot of time on the beach, okay? You have been here, how many years have you been working on the beach?
Like right now, like 22 years.
All right, 22 years. All right, some of you people aren't even that old, okay? So he's been on the beach for 22 years. You see all kinds of stuff out here, I'm sure, because people get drunk. They're having a good time, right? They're all having a great time. Do you have any funny stories that you can tell me about some things that you've seen on the beach?
Well, I see all the kind of things right here. I see homeless. They sleeping under the bridge, and that will happen every day right here.
Yeah.
Well, some people happy all the time, and some people, live like homeless, and I don't know what happened, but. I think they're going to fix it all that one day, maybe.
Yeah.
But Vallarta beach is very, very beautiful, very clean. All people happy, no fights, no nothing. The people safety right here.
Yeah. That's why we're all here. That's why we all come to Puerto Vallarta.
Right. Okay.
Because they feel safe. And Johnny's here.
You know why? The people feel good when they hear me. Here's Johnny, and they wait for me. They buy oyster for me that way, so they know I come from my friends, and they say, "Okay, Johnny's here." Okay, they buy me a plate, 2 or 3 plates. When I'm done with my 10 plates, I go get some more.
Very good. Very good. Now look. We were talking earlier. You told me that you have spent a lot of time. You've spent some time in the States, right? You were up in the United States. You've been in California, and
in California, that's right. I used to live in I call it about like in 1970, 201. Yeah, like 30 years up in there.
30 years up in the States. That's why your English is so good.
Oh, thank you very much. I try.
You do a great job, man.
Okay.
So, what did you do when you were up in the States?
I work in a lot of companies, like a roofing company, and I do the Chirac work too, and also I work in foundries. They do a lot of things over there, and I work almost everywhere right there.
Yeah, so you took all kinds of jobs.
That's right. Like I paint houses, and I can do garden. I can work like a janitor too. I work in a Chevron company. It's a janitor. Very beautiful right there.
Yeah. Well, California's a great place, and I must say, just because I live there.
Oh, yeah, California, very beautiful everywhere. Also, I got all my family up there, and I'm the only one right here in Mexico, but I hope one day I'm going to go back.
You're the only one here? Everybody's up there?
Yeah, my brothers, my sisters, my mom, and I miss them so much, but maybe one day I'm going to be there with them.
That would be great. When you do, come over to my house.
Oh, I will, and thank you very much for telling me that.
Mi casa es su casa.
Okay, gracias.
All right, so you have an incredible voice, okay? When I hear you say, "Here's Johnny," but I know that you also sing, right?
That's right.
When did you start singing?
Well, I started singing when I was, before I got to USA, I sing right here in Mexico with, with bands. Not my bands, but I asked for the famous band if they let me sing one song. So they let me sing one song, and I sing with mariachi right here. And so I try to follow the music, but sometimes we got a hard time. So, but I love music all the way up.
Yeah. What's you have a favorite? You have a favorite performer? You have a favorite singer?
Oh well, my favorite singer is was Mexican guy. He's Marco Antonio Solis, and I sing a lot of songs. His songs I sing sometimes, and that's my favorite singer, Marco Antonio Solis.
What's your favorite song of his?
Tu cárcel.
Tu casa?
Yeah, tu cárcel. They go like this. Te vas, amor, si así lo quieres, ¿qué le voy a hacer? Tu vanidad no te deja entender que en la pobreza se sabe querer. Beautiful song, Rosette.
Beautiful song, yeah. You sing it very nicely. And, that's all impromptu. He's sitting there having a beer and singing to me. This is great, Johnny.
Oh, thank you very much.
This is golden. I mean, I never had anybody sing to me yet. This is nice.
Oh, thank you very much for telling me that, yeah. When I sing to all my friends and all friends, when I sing in the restaurant, with the karaoke music, and everybody loves it. And I feel good about it. When everybody hear me sing, everybody like it, I got a good feeling inside.
Yeah, right. It makes you feel good when people appreciate what you have, and that's natural talent right there. That's beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Have you ever done that? Have you ever gone to restaurants, or have you ever been hired to sing at a place?
Well, right here in Vallarta, all I sing in the restaurants. But before in USA, I got a band, and we play in big auditorium like Disneyland Auditorio over there. It's a big place. Wow, and they go about 10,000 people over there.
Wow.
And my friend is scared about it, but I said, hey, come on, man, don't be scared. Just show me what you are and play music and control and concentration and the job, you know. So we play, we did it, and we feel good about it. But we sing in USA and Richmond Auditorium, San Francisco Auditorium, LA, Sacramento, Reno. We got a lot of places over there.
Wow, you sure did. All right, so this was not just an itty little band, right? You guys went all over the place. You were everywhere.
That's right, because we recording one long play over there in 1990, something like that, 1992. And people liked it, and we almost made it but my friend, they got a call for the Army, for the USA Army. So he got to go when something happened in Iraq, something like that, I don't remember. And he got there, so I stopped the man right there. And when he come back, it's nothing the same.
No, right?
So,
wow.
But we play in a big place before,
Wow.
And it's a good feeling also.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's amazing the energy that you get from a big crowd is fabulous. It's fabulous.
Oh yeah. When you hear applausos, wow, feel very good and I think of myself and I say, oh man, people like it what I do, so it's a good feeling too.
Yeah, no kidding. That is a good feeling. All right, so I'm thinking we're also talking. I know that you and I know that Rabina Rabina Oliver has reached out to help you about your knees.
Yeah.
Is it both of your knees or just one knee? You have issues because you've been walking in the sand for the last 22 years.
You know what? I walk in the sand a lot of time, and when I start getting sick, and alone right here, because I lose my girl right here also. She leaves me, and I said, oh my God, now what I'm going to do? And when I feel sick, my knee, also my eye, and I got a lot of problems, but you know what? I guess I got it lucky because I see my angel, Rabina, and friends. She called me, and I feel like a millionaire because she helped me in everything, and my friends. Thank you to my angel friends and Robina to help me up to survive, And I want to thank from the bottom of my heart because they give me my life back.
Yes, it's amazing what is going on here, and to me. I think everybody needs to know that right now, I think maybe you want to make a transition, right? Maybe a transition from selling stuff on the beach to maybe even performing, so you're not like walking in the sand all the time, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
So I want to work on the beach, and I want to work for my friends, but it's very difficult for me right now because I got pain in my knee, my right eye don't work right. It's like a car, I don't walk right now, so I do what I can, and that's what it is. But I try to survive.
Yeah, we're going to find a way to do that. We're going to find a way to help you do that. Let's go out into Puerto Vallarta just for a minute. Let's go into the town and let's talk about food. You know the food because you deliver it.
That's right.
Let's talk about your favorite places to eat. You have a favorite place to have breakfast?
Right here?
Yeah.
In Vallarta?
Yeah.
Well, I used to go, when I got money, I like to go to the house cake. Uh-huh. Right here, about 3 blocks away.
Oh, the pancake house.
The pancake house, that's right.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite place, but when I got money, sometimes, when we don't got money, we eat some tacos or one bread and milk, and that's it.
Yeah. What about lunch? I mean, you have a
lunch. Lunch come. We don't got an hour to eat lunch because we work sometimes in the beach, always busy, and we hungry. When we hungry, we eat whatever like 1 taco, 2 tacos, and go back to work. and that's the lunch.
Yeah, so where do you get your tacos?
I get the tacos for the ladies. They sell right there in the corner, and or the other ladies, they sell in the other two corners. And we eat 2 tacos and a glass of water and go back to work.
And go back to work. So the people, now, are you considered like a regular vendor? Do you have you need a permit to work the beach?
Yeah, you need a permit.
Yeah?
Yeah, you got to get a license to work because everything right here in Puerto Vallarta is in control. Don't think just anybody can come and sell because we got inspectors right here. They check the food where we go to the people because it's got to be safe. First place, and we got to follow the rules, so you got to get a license to work right here.
Right. So, yeah, you see somebody out on... Now, what happens if you see somebody that you've never seen before on the beach, you personally, and you go, okay, that guy doesn't have a license and he's out here selling. What happens to that guy?
So we report him to the inspectors because we got to do that because we don't know what he's going to sell because if some people get sick, we lose everything. Everybody lose because we don't report the guy. So we have to report the guy. They sold food. We don't know if the food is safe or not.
Right.
We got to make sure. And like I told you before, Vallarta is safe because we got inspectors for everything.
Yeah, wow. That is... Who knew that? I had no clue. But that's great to know. If you had like a day off and you're going to take a day trip somewhere, where would you go?
Oh, God. I go to Nuevo Vallarta, see the big boats over there, the people, watch the people, and I got a good time when I watch the people happy. I see the people walking. I see the beautiful day. That's where I go.
Yeah, that sounds like a very relaxing time. If you had a word of advice for someone coming to Puerto Vallarta for the first time, what would that advice be? If you had a suggestion to tell them, what would you tell them?
So I say, okay, my friend, just watch where you go, and everything is safe right here, but watch your step and be safe.
Yeah, exactly. You got to watch your step, especially when you're drinking too many beers or tequilas. So definitely watch your step, right? Any word of warning? Anything that you really should be very, very careful about?
You gotta take care of yourself, right? And
drink lots of water, right? Get lots of water. Keep hydrated.
Well, you drink tequila or beer. Well, you gotta drink tequila or beer. It's gonna be like a hangover in this day, and you have to eat another beer or 2 beers to feeling good. And that's it. Eat something good, like shrimp soup. And so that way the hangover go away.
The hangover goes away. Yeah, that's a good way, right? You get a little menudo, right?
Yeah, that's right. Menudo with a lot of spicy. Oh boy, make you sweat.
And that's what does it. It's the sweat, right?
That's right.
All right. So where's the best menudo in Puerto Vallarta?
Oh, we call Mercado 5 de Diciembre.
Okay.
And I see 2 little restaurants there. And that ladies, they cook the menudo. Oh, my God, very, very good.
Really? She's a bruja, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right. I'll have to check that out. You said it's in the Mercado 5 de Diciembre. Where is that?
It's called for the graveyard, the cemetery, over there, up there. And,
it's near the cemetery. That's right, on the way up to the cemetery.
That's right. It's over there. And you see Mercado 5 de Diciembre over there. And they'll sell over there a lot of seafood to cook, like fish, shrimps, octopus, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And the 2 ladies, they got a little restaurant in there. That's the place when you get a good menudo.
There's that good menudo. Okay, so Johnny has just given you all of the advice that you need now. If you are hungover and you need the menudo, go over to 5 de Diciembre and go see those 2 ladies with their big buckets, huh?
And after that, when you eat the menudo over there, in 1 hour, you feel life is coming back.
It's see,
before hangover.
It beats like 3 beers, right? You can just go ahead and have the menudo and then have your 3 beers, right?
That's right, and that way you feel good again. Yeah,
like new, reparado, as they say.
Yeah.
Let's come back to the beach, Johnny. What I want to ask you to do for me is to keep in contact with me, and I know that Robina will keep in contact with me too, and we will make sure that we can help you along so that you become fully recuperated and you can work again. Whether it is getting your knees repaired or whether it is maybe picking up the microphone and singing again.
Oh, wow. I wish both, but I want to come back to sing again, and I want to walk again because I love all my friends, especially all my friends that are helping me now, like Robina and my Elgin friends, like I said. But we're fighting for giving my life back, to still work in the beach, and for sure I want to come back to sing, because that's me right there. I love to sing for people, and I hope one day I'm coming back to sing again.
Hey, maybe we'll see you singing on the beach as well as delivering seafood. So there. Johnny, it's been a pleasure talking with you. It's wonderful what's going on here, and warms my heart. And I want to wish you the best of luck. And I want to thank you very much for letting me introduce you to my listeners. I truly appreciate that.
I want to say thank you very much to the listeners, because thank you for hearing me. And I wish from the bottom of my heart to come to Vallarta. That is beautiful. And when you guys come right here, I hope you guys going to see me sing and walking again, and to serve you, everyone. And thank you very much for letting me come to your program. And what can I say? God bless everyone, and thank you very much again.
Okay, thank you, Johnny. Thank you very much for sharing your story with us. And I have links in the show notes that will take you over to Johnny's Fan Club for Donors if you're interested in helping Johnny out. And from there, you can keep track of his progress. And Robina, what can I say, amiga? You've got a heart of gold. All right. Anyway, check out the links and the pics I have of Johnny in the show notes. You'll get a chance to meet him right there. Next up, let's have a little fun. Let's loosen things up a little bit here. Meet a couple of friends of mine from Canada, Bob and Denise McCuaig. Bob, I have been friends with for almost as long as I've been doing this podcast. I can't believe we're starting on year 6 now. That's a lot of tequila under the bridge. Wow. Thanks for listening. Thanks so much. Anyway, Bob is a great wingman. He's always up for an adventure, and he makes me laugh. And actually, he went up with me to San Sebastian a few years back there with Jose Castillo, my favorite private driver in Puerto Vallarta, who now lives in Hawaii, if I'm not mistaken. Wow. I still need to replace Jose. I need a driver in Puerto Vallarta. Maybe next time down. Anyway, Bob and Denise are always hospitable. Every once in a while, they'll actually invite me to mosey up to their room and check out their digs, because they know I'm always looking for different accommodations. And Bob and Denise, they're kind of like me, and they like to sleep around. You know what I mean. Anyway, so we never tire of our surroundings, right? That way we can enjoy Puerto Vallarta from different points of view all the time. So anyway, this time down they were staying at the park, and the park is a kitty corner from Tile Park. It's a new building. It's got a lovely pool on the roof. It's got a killer view of the bay and of the church and the romantic zone and the surrounding lush green mountains. I'm just kind of giving you a little flavor. I'll see if I can find some pictures. I'll put those in the show notes so you can get a good look at what it looks like from the rooftop of the park. Anyway, it's a great spot to have a drink and a swim and that panoramic view of our favorite vacation destination. So now there's just a couple of naughty words that I left in this discussion. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of a warning for my easily offended listeners. or those of you who have children within earshot. And it's not bad naughty words as far as naughty words go, but just a warning. So let's hear some tales of travel to our favorite vacation destination. You know what it is, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. And let's hear from Bob and Denise. Bob and Denise, thanks for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having us, Barry.
Oh, thank you, Barry. It's sure great to see you. It's been a few years.
Well, yes, it has, and we're all still alive, and this is a wonderful time. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? And what was your path that led you to Puerto Vallarta? Who wants to start? You want to start, Denise?
Oh, no, Bob can take that one.
Okay.
What's that?
What brought us to Puerto Vallarta?
How long have we been coming? Where are you from, first of all?
Well, we're both from Kamloops, British Columbia, and I lived in Kamloops since 1992. And we've been coming to Puerto Vallarta since 2006. And actually, the way that we were turned on to Puerto Vallarta was with a person that Denise worked with in the health industry, and she had recommended the Casa Isabel to us because she had stayed there, and she showed us some pictures, and we saw what was happening in Puerto Vallarta and the way the community looked, and it really drew us in. And we made it in February of 2006, and I can say since then we've probably been here over 40 times. So it doesn't matter whether it's summer, winter, fall, any season, if the prices are good, the McCuaigs are here.
That's right. There you go. And, when the McCuaigs are here, it's fun times, I got to tell you right now. So did you stay at Casa Isabel your first time?
We did, actually,
Yeah.
and it was fabulous. I think we've stayed there 3 or 4 times. We got to know Isabel and her late husband, Dave, really well. They were the hosts with the most, I'll tell you that. They treated us with, it was just luxury vacationing, They took us on their cruiser on the ocean. They took us in their Jeep out into the mountains. They hosted parties. They brought in mariachi. It was just wonderful. So we've been back with my parents. We've been back in the honeymoon suite. We've experienced Casa Isabel in all of its forms over the years. It was lovely.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a great way to start. If you're going to come here, you might as well start right at the top.
Yeah.
And the view you can't beat the view over at Casa Isabel. I never had the chance to have that kind of luxury kind of treatment, where I've been spoiled here. I gotta work on that.
Okay. Yeah.
So you've been at Casa Isabel. What other places have you stayed?
Oh, Barry, it really varies. We tried all-inclusives for a while. So we've done Grand Pelicanos and Canta del Sol and Tropicana over the years. We've also, once we retired, our budget changed when we weren't working humans anymore. And so we really have enjoyed a lot of the 3-star Mexican hotels. So Hotel Eloisa, Hotel Yasmin, which isn't open at this time, the Allegro. So really just a wide variety, and then a fair number of VRBO condos as well, depending on the time of year and how rich we're feeling. Yeah. So explain to people when you say the Mexican-style hotel, what kind of accommodations are we talking about as opposed to your resort? I guess I would say the rooms tend to be a little bit smaller in terms of their square footage. The mattresses tend to be a little firmer. You're not getting a Posturepedic. But
you mean you're getting a brick?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But there's always super clean, super friendly. Often they come with breakfast options, so you can you can have chilaquiles for breakfast or tortilla and beans, eggs any way you like. They're usually really generous, and it's a great way to get to know the community because over a few days you become like family with the staff, and they just welcome you right in, and that's I think the biggest attraction for me.
Yeah. So, what would you say would be your favorite of those Mexican style hotels? You got a favorite?
Oh my gosh, Bob, do we have a favorite Mexican hotel?
Well, I don't know. I would say for my favorite Mexican hotel that I've stayed at, which is you can get under a hotel option or an all-inclusive, I would say would either be Pelícanos or the Canto del Sol. Now, whether you took the all-inclusive option, I guess that's up to you and whether you'd like it. But one thing I can say when I stay at those two hotels or resorts, even when we paid the all-inclusive price, I certainly don't feel guilty going across the street to have a 5-star meal or coming down to Old Town and splurging on a meal and feeling like I've just wasted dollars.
That's a really good point, Bob. When we stay 5-star all-inclusive, we feel like we have to stay on campus to get our money's worth.
Yeah.
Because
it can get expensive.
It can get really expensive. Yeah. A few $1,000s for us Canadians. But you can get something really reasonable for, say, $1,200 to $1,500. And then not feel bad when you're out in the community and not partaking from their restaurants or buffets.
Yeah, and no one wants to feel bad when they're on vacation.
Not at all.
You said that the Eloisa is closed?
No, the Yasmin has closed. It's next to the Cafe Oya.
Yeah. What happened there? Are they they're not going to be a condo or anything, are they?
I'm not sure. We were there a couple of years ago, and they told us that they were going to be closing because the owner was going to do renovations, and then they never reopened. Okay. So I don't know if it's COVID or cash flow or a future condo. Okay. I'm not in the loop.
All right. Well, I thought maybe you had a little inside info. All right, so where are you staying this time?
We are at the Park, beautiful condo on Lazaro Cardenas, 2 blocks from the beach, 30-meter saltwater infinity pool, a bartender. This is the first time I've stayed in a condo building that provides a bartender 6 days a week. It's lovely.
Yeah, right on the roof.
Yeah, it's fabulous. And a 360-degree view of Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah, it is beautiful up here. And thanks for inviting me up here.
You're welcome.
So this is the way, by the way, that you can get me to come and interview you. You have a beautiful pool on a rooftop and say, Barry, come and interview me.
The only thing that's missing right now is Maggie and her friends frolicking in the pool.
Oh, you will hear from Maggie May in the coming weeks, folks. Just hang on for that.
Beware. Stay tuned.
Beware. I will give you all warning because we had a nice talk. And it was about 45 minutes of wow.
Okay, enough of the previews.
All right, so you're right over the park. You're right next to that building that has been empty forever, and and you can look into the window. Anybody living in there? You've been watching that?
The pigeons.
I looked to see if there was anybody home last night. There was a couple of pigeons by there.
Yeah, but that's about it.
No. I did see a few people a few years ago. You'd see heads poking out of the balcony and wandering around, but
they got it locked down pretty good now.
Yeah, they're ghosts now. Los Muertos.
What kind of tours have you taken?
Oh, there is not a tour we haven't taken over the years. I don't think. We've been to San Sebastian and stopped in the little farming community of Las Palmas on our way there. We've been to the botanical gardens in Yulapa and Sayulita, and we have zip-lined, we have zooed, we have horseback rode. There just really isn't a tour we haven't done. I correct myself. I don't think we've done the pirate ship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you done the Rhythms of the Night yet?
Oh, actually, no.
See, there's two. There's two right there.
Two tours we haven't done: Rhythms of the Night and
the Pirates
and the pirate ship.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to do that one day. I would like to do that one. I'll dress as a pirate.
I really miss the seal that they used to have at the Agua Marina.
Do you really?
The seal. Yeah. Remember him, Old Fish Breath?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
But I saw a seal when I was down near Yulapa the other time.
Did you?
Yeah.
They
actually,
you can flap their flippers.
No, I don't want to do it. I don't want to touch them. I don't want to touch them.
Yeah, sure, okay. Do too.
You have you're both very adventurous, and you both have you have a lot of friends down here, and so you probably have a couple of fun stories to tell that maybe you could share with us that kind of can give people a little bit of a feel of what it's like to come to Puerto Vallarta and meet friends and have companionship and all that stuff.
Actually, I have a couple of stories for you, Barry.
Yeah, okay.
But I have to say that, Bob and I are both Indigenous people. When we are storytelling, we always look for the lesson or the teaching that comes with the story. And so I have a teaching, a lesson that the listeners will have to listen very carefully to sort of think about what's the moral of the story. But I'll fill you in as we go. So, as I said, we've taken many tours over the 20 years that we've been coming here. And as we got to know more and more expats and individuals who lived here year-round, making friends as we went, we also decided that we were going to become more budget conscious. And so we were sitting around one of the local establishments one afternoon, and we were saying it would be really nice if we could go horseback riding. But we didn't want to go on the beach and, be led around by someone on a beach horse. And we were a little unsure about some of the horseback riding tours. And so one of the people who lives here said to us, I know some caballeros, and we can get a deal. And we
that was
can
JR,
go
wasn't
on
it?
A tour. It may have been
I
JR.
don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm pretty sure it was old Johnny Russell.
I was trying to be kind and not state.
He's not the moral of the story, though.
No, he's not the moral of the story.
Probably should be.
Yeah.
That's another story.
So about 8 of us pooled our pesos, Barry, and we had a date the next day to meet the caballeros in Pancha Anchos. And it was a fascinating experience. So for those who know about horses and think that there's a certain way that things are, what we very quickly learned is that no one caballero owns an entire group of trail horses. So there was 5 or 6 caballeros who came. Some owned one horse, some maybe owned 2 horses, and they rode them in to Pancha Anchos to meet us outside the El Rio barbecue. And the saddles are not the padded Western saddle that I would expect in the luxury of home. They were hand carved and they were just covered in rawhide, so no padding. And only 2 of the caballeros spoke somewhat English. One was going to be our lead hand, and one was about a 16 or 17-year-old boy who was going to be bringing up the rear, as they say. And so they were talking to each of us as they were assigning us our horses, which tend to be quite short. They're, you don't see a 17-hand horse here. They're quite small. So we had one gentleman who was about 6'5" in our party, and he was wanting the biggest horse, but he was also petrified of horses.
Uh-oh.
And so he was telling them that he needed the tamest horse, and that he needed someone to be nearby in case something might go wrong. And so they put him on one, and I'm pretty sure I saw his feet dragging on the ground. But his name was Mark from California. And, he had this short little horse who apparently was going to be very safe. And Mark's feet were continually dragging on the ground. So they were assessing our horsing skills, our horsemanship, and they approached Bob and asked if he was familiar and comfortable on a horse. Now, even though he had not been on one in years, he enthusiastically said, absolutely.
Of course he did.
So the head caballero took him over to this horse, and he said, this is Rambo.
Remember, don't say whoa in a mud hole. That's all I can say. But yeah, I wrote him, Rambo.
Yeah. So immediately, Bob decided he needed to
Grumpy
establish
horse.
an understanding with Rambo.
Really? What did you say to Rambo?
Never mind. There's kids in the audience.
What do you say, Denise? What do you say?
He grabbed Rambo by the bridle, pulled his head over in his direction so he could look him in the eye, pointed out a pile of horse dung on the ground, and said to Rambo, "Rambo, you see that shit right there?" And he stomped in it with his foot, and he twisted it around, and he said, "If you don't behave, you're going to be like that pile of shit."
I was barefoot.
Comprende?
Well, maybe not.
He seemed confident that him and Rambo had an understanding, and he hopped up on Rambo's back, and he was at the head of the line, and all the other trail horses just kind of follow in, nose to tail. And Bob's following along the head caballero, and Rambo has decided that he doesn't really like Bob on his back. And so he's brushing up against the prickly trees in the jungle so that he can scrape up Bob's legs.
Oh, yeah.
And the Mexican killer cactus.
Yeah. And he's brushing Bob alongside.
I'm wearing my hot pants, so you can imagine what my legs look like, especially my right one.
Yeah. And he's brushing Bob up against the rock walls that they build along the river and the road.
Yeah.
Yep. And we're heading up the Sierra Madre Mountains towards the zip line at the top from Poncha Anchos.
Oh, you're going through the Ejido, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And but we're stopping at the cantinas along the way. So all of the cowboys, the caballeros who own the horses, they're in the back of a red pickup truck drinking tequila.
Yeah, pointing and laughing.
And pointing and laughing at all of us. And we have the one lead caballero and the young boy bringing up the back. And the 8 of us are moseying along up this mountainside, stopping at every local house or cantina that will have us for shots of tequila, because we call this the drunken horseback ride.
Okay, so
this
was
one of the first.
These weren't like real cantinas, or were they real cantinas, or were they just like homes?
There was one real cantina about halfway between Poncha Anchos and the zip line.
Yeah.
And the rest were kind of like house fronts.
Okay.
Yes, because
So
the red truck of the caballeros who owned the horses would come to a stop, and they'd pile out of the back of the truck with all their lawn chairs, and they'd line them up ready for their tequila.
Okay.
And then we'd arrive on horseback, and we'd join them for a few shots. And then ultimately we would pay for their tequila. So now our cost savings are maybe not quite the cost savings that we originally thought. But on the plus
But
side...
we're environmentally friendly, and nobody can take that from us.
That's
nobody.
True. Yeah, that's true. And I don't think the regular tour processes have alcohol involved. And I didn't have to sign a waiver. So, there was some bonuses to this whole process. So we had stopped at a cantina about halfway through. And we'd had a little snack and a little more tequila. And Bob decided he was going to have a second conversation with Rambo.
Uh-oh.
Because he wasn't very happy about being brushed up against the prickly jungle fauna and the rock walls. And so he conveniently, while we were having our lunch, he managed to find another pile of dung. And him and Rambo had a repeat of the original conversation.
Oh.
Now, when we left this second cantina, they took us down into the river. And so they told us that we were going to cross the river on our horses and come up on a bridge.
Huh?
This was my moment to shine. I don't mean to interrupt, but it's one of those things, and bear with me, folks. I know you're a very understanding audience, but I want you to envision this and imagine there you are in your cowboy hat. And you got it on lock, and you're looking at the river. You're on your horse. Your horse's name is Rambo. You look at the river, you look at the current, say, hey, how are you going to do? Well, you know what? You give them a shot in the ribs, they get you butt across that river like lickety-split.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going to leave it, because I don't really remember a whole lot after that part.
Yeah, but I witnessed
But there were
the
witnesses.
whole event. I did. And what happened is that his horse went into the river water and kindly and gently went across. So Bob was winking at me and giving me the thumbs up, like, you see, I'm the horse whisperer, and I know how to talk to my ride. But we got up onto the roadside on the bridge, and his horse reared up on his hind legs like no tomorrow. And Bob's cowboy hat on lock, it went flying off his head. And he was pulling on the reins like there was no tomorrow, and that horse just kept rearing and rearing and rearing. And now the head caballero is pretty rattled. And without any hesitation at all, Rambo came down on all fours and took off at a dead run up the road. And he was around the corner and gone.
Oh, my God.
So the head caballero comes back to me, and in his broken English, he says, your husband name. And I said, Bob. And he took off on his horse, chasing after him, and I could hear him yelling, Boob! Boob! Pull the reins, Boob! But we couldn't see where Boob had gone.
I heard him too, and the freaking horse wouldn't stop. I said, I gotta talk to this guy. Yeah.
And so there we were, the 7 of us on our remaining trail horses. We have no head caballero. We have no Boob and Rambo. And this young 17-year-old boy is looking like the deer in the headlights. Like, what are we going to do now?
Yeah.
So we
Lost
just
Boob.
kept plodding along. And I'm starting to, as the wife, feel a little bit panicked.
Yeah, no kidding.
10 minutes went by.
Oh, my God.
No
You must have
Boob.
been you must have been really scared.
20 minutes goes by. No Boob.
No Rambo either.
30 minutes. And I see the head caballero coming down the mountainside. And he looks at me, shrugs his shoulders, and says, Senora, no Boob. So
Happy trails
my heart-
to you until we meet again.
So my heart is racing.
Yeah.
And
Mine too.
I have no husband.
And my
I have
pants
no-
were damp.
And I
We'll
have
leave it
no
there.
waiver, Barry. But damn it, I have saved some serious
You saved some pesos. You sure did.
Yes, I did. So we get to the
The
top
bright
of the
side.
mountain, to the zip line area. And as we come up to the place that we were going to rendezvous,
What's the name of that place that's way up on the top of that
I
mountain?
don't remember the name of that zip
You
line.
know, Barry?
Yeah, well, that's...
They got that restaurant and bar on the top. It's owned by one of the tour companies.
That's Canopy River Tours.
Canopy River Tours. Yes, correct. So we're arriving at the Canopy River Tours, looking forward to another tequila tasting.
Yeah.
And there is my husband, leaned up against a post, having a cigarette. And Rambo
Who wouldn't?
looks like he's been rolled in the river. He is soaked in sweat. He is wet. His tongue is hanging out the side of his head.
no.
Mine
and
too.
He is wheezing.
Oh, no.
It's not just about the horse.
Wait, stop feeling sorry for the horse already. We're talking about Boob here.
But the head caballero, he goes right past Boob.
Oh.
And
Yeah, I did.
He goes to the horse and he starts to run his hands from head to shank, like just checking that horse out. And then he says, Boob, Boob. And he motions for Bob to head
In
on
all
over.
sincerity.
Yeah. And so Bob goes over
Oh,
and he
lo
says,
siento.
Senor, Rambo, he's sore. You no touch him here, okay? And he indicates that Rambo has sore ribs, but he failed to mention that at the bottom of the mountain. So when Bob was kicking Rambo through the river, apparently it hurt like hell.
I'm a rib kicker. Always have been.
Now, how Bob actually stayed on Rambo, I'm not
Do you know how?
sure.
Do you know how you did that, Bob?
I'm an Indian. That's my job. Unfortunately, I'm not a horse Indian. I'm a canoe Indian.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we had a few tequila tastes.
Yeah.
And then poor Bob had to get
Did you have to get back on Rambo?
to go back down the mountain to where the caballeros were waiting for us. And when we got back to our condo and he was changing his clothes, he had bruises in his inner thigh in the exact shape of the O-rings on that rawhide saddle. Yes, he had these purple, black, green, yellow circles up and down his inner thigh for the rest of the vacation.
Yeah.
So, Barry, do you want to guess for the listeners what the moral of the story is?
Something about saving pesos?
No.
No. Well, help me out, Denise.
Don't be a boob. If you step in other people's shit, karma will get you.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
great.
And that is definitely,
Yeah,
that is
that's
so
what it
true.
is.
That is so true.
Yeah.
So, Bob, you're not done that. You've not done that ever again, right?
Well,
When's the last time you're back on a horse? You've been on a horse since?
No, I think that was the last time. I mean, because like all my the few previous times on horses, it was kind of a similar experience where I had a horse run me into a wasp nest.
Oh.
And that ran me into the wasp nest. I got off the horse, and next thing you know, I'm surrounded by wasps, and I had to run down the trail and try to get away from those wasps, and my arms were flailing and legs.
Oh, that's not a good sign.
No.
Not good.
No.
Yeah,
It's
don't
not
do
a
it
pretty
again.
sight.
No.
I've
Don't
actually
ever get on a
seen
horse.
Bob on the beach
No.
enjoying the ocean when a water snake came by. And I'm pretty sure when he was running from those wasps, I wasn't there to witness that, but he probably, much like the water snake, runs like a girl.
I did. Well, like not like a real fast girl or anything.
Hey, I've seen
but
some really fast girls.
animated girl.
I've seen some pretty fast girls, okay?
Yeah, they can be really quick
Oh, yeah,
women.
they can be fast.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a great story. We'll put that in the books. That is pretty good. I like that. All right, so let's talk a little bit about food. Let's talk about your favorite places to eat because, we all go and we travel on our stomachs. You got a favorite breakfast spot? Let's start with breakfast.
A favorite breakfast spot?
Yeah.
For me, it's probably Coco's Kitchen.
Yeah.
I love the cinnamon bun French toast
Yeah.
and the fresh squeezed orange juice. So for me, it's Coco's Kitchen.
Coco. What about you, Bob?
Well, it's always pretty interesting. Is like when we were looking over the rooftop, pointing out at a place. I don't know the name of it, but I see places when I'm walking down the street, and they're usually considered as a traditional breakfast or a traditional little place where you can go in and get food, and it's a family-run operation, and they're quite small, maybe 3 or 4 tables. Those seem to be very outstanding breakfast places in my mind, and whether I'm having an omelet or huevos ranchero or chilaquiles with con pollo, I'll tell you, there's a lot of good food. And one of my favorite things, jugo verde. That's right, folks, green juice.
Really?
Yes.
What do they put in that?
Where am I putting the green juice?
No, not where you're putting it, okay. But what do they put in that?
Well, a lot of good stuff.
Yeah?
I'll tell you what,
It's like
I
healthy
just feel
stuff, right?
energized when
Like kale. Oh, but there's kale involved, right?
Yeah, oh,
There's
yeah.
cactus,
yeah.
I think.
There's kale,
I
there's
think there's
cucumbers,
cactus.
there's...
That's a
Guess what?
that's
They
a
have
garnish,
peppers
by
in
the way.
it, too.
Oh, wow.
Peppers.
Really?
Just like the
chili
ice cream
peppers?
got peppers. Yeah.
Wow.
Chili
Wow.
peppers.
Wow.
So it's all, great
Where
stuff.
do you get it? Where do you get your jugo verde?
Anywhere. I like to test it out. It's like ceviche.
Yeah.
I want to try everybody's ceviche. I want to try everybody's jugo verde. I want to try everybody's beans.
Yeah.
Beans are a big deal. Where did we get some beans that were somewhat questionable? It was a place on the beach near a pier. The beans were a little runny and soupy.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Not good.
Yeah.
No.
They're really shitty.
No. Yeah,
Talking
what you really
beans.
have to have is... I'm into the refried beans, and I just like the really, just so fine and just smooth, and that's what I like.
Yeah,
and you
nice
can find
texture.
You find those in these little fondas, just like you're talking about. They know how to cook those beans.
Often imitated but never duplicated. A Familia
Yeah.
Beano restaurant.
Exactly. What about lunch? What do you guys like to do for lunch?
that is a really good question. Where do I like to go for lunch?
I have breakfast.
Yeah, that's
No, it can be
actually a
almost
very
anything.
good point. I think the breakfasts are so filling that we often skip lunch, to be honest.
All right. So what about dinner? What are your favorite dinner spots?
Dinner.
Well, wait a minute. No, that's not necessarily true because I had breakfast this morning.
Yeah.
And from the night before, we had many leftover tacos and papas. And I had one of those tacos for lunch because they were actually quite a gordo taco.
Yeah.
And very flavorful. And just a quick 40-second zap in the microwave, it was ready to go.
Okay. Well, that doesn't count.
Oh, I
Where'd you
stand
get the taco?
Well, that's just taking advantage of the, eating it again. It's kind of like recycling. Let's get environmental and stop this crap, Barry. Enough's enough. No, we got the taco from the Sana, I believe it's called the Sana Rita.
Yeah.
And it's just right next door to our accommodations
Yeah,
here
it's
at
just
the
right
park.
around the corner. I had dinner the other night, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, they do breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah, and I had
No TV.
I had prime rib tacos when I was there. They were excellent. They actually took the bone and put it right on top, so you know that it was just cut off of there.
Bob really
That was the
likes...
day you were really quiet. You weren't telling anybody anything.
No.
You were wearing sunglasses and eating in the corner, weren't you?
I usually do.
Okay.
Yeah. Bob really likes the street food as well. And he has a lovely story about the ladies who run the taco stand late at night on the corner of Paseo Badeo and I think Il Vallarta?
No, it was the Familia taco stand just across from the Guadalajara Farmacia on the Taco Road there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, Bob decided he needed a late night snack.
Sure.
And he'd had a few drinks by
Well,
then.
that's why you need the snack.
Oh, no, are you talking the balloon ladies?
Yeah, aren't they on Paseo Badeo?
You know
and
what? The
Il Vallarta?
taco people have got to be the best people in the whole damn world. I swear to God.
Yeah.
And it's coming right from the bottom of my heart.
Oh, yeah,
But I just want to stop you now, and I want to talk about the balloon ladies, and because I really think that there's organized businesses that are infringing on the rights of the balloon ladies by opening up an El Pastor taco restaurant next to their stand, which is by the V399, across from the Plato Oro convenience beer store. So anyhow, let's get back to those. Let's get back to the balloon ladies. So it wasn't one of my finer moments, and I was staying at the V399, and I don't know who in the heck I was with that evening, but I think we had a lot of fun. And I felt it was time to get something to eat. It was probably around 11:30, 12 at night. I went downstairs to get the food and ordered my food, and well, I didn't have my wallet. I was financially embarrassed.
Yeah, no kidding.
It sucked.
No, it sucks. When
Yes,
you're a gringo,
yes.
you're there, you order the taco, they say whatever,
Yes.
and you eat it first, too.
Yes, they didn't think I was a gringo.
Oh, yeah, well, look at you. Come on.
Yeah.
You are Indian. Come on.
Yeah. Well, that part, that's why they gave me the food for free, damn it. That's kind of the way we do things. You see somebody's hungry, you feed them.
They were so
Anyhow, they did,
sweet.
and the following day, I somehow managed to remember. I guess it might have been the leftover taco on the table, but I knew then that they saved my sorry butt because I saw my wallet also sitting next to the taco. So I went down and tipped him and paid for my meal, and it was quite a handsome bounty that I paid. And as a matter of fact, it was really heartwarming because the lady that took the money from me together with the tip blessed the money before putting it in the till.
There you go, because she was for sure that you were never coming back.
Yeah, that's a lovely story, and I'm pretty
Well,
sure,
the only
Bob,
reason I
that
did is she saw
promptly
me.
sent her child to university after you tipped her. Shame is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, naming the
it
kids
is.
after me.
Yeah, exactly. Have you visited lately? Do you write?
I've tried to, but if people that are looking at the balloon ladies and want to eat there, it's hard to find them open.
Yeah, is that right?
Like they're real hit and miss. But if you do get a chance and you do see them open, stop in. Even if you're not hungry, stop in, buy something, take it home with you.
Yeah.
Hey, we're in the middle of a pandemic here. Take it home. Stay home. Except me.
Except you and us. All right, dinner. Come on, we're
Dinner.
talking dinner now.
Oh, Barry, this is so hard. Puerto Vallarta is the ultimate city for foodies. I can't think of a single restaurant that I haven't enjoyed. Maybe I'll say I like Roberto's on Paseo Badeo for seafood.
Yeah, but he's gone.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he's gone. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, I'm crushed.
I know. You won't be able to have Roberto's.
Oh, see, I've only been here 4 days so far. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. All right.
Devastating.
So that's one of your favorites,
Okay,
and now
so
it's
now
gone.
I'm on a mission for coconut shrimp. So if
Yeah.
any of your listeners have suggestions, I guess I'm open
Listen
to
up.
new places to go.
Denise needs coconut shrimp.
I need coconut shrimp.
Yeah, better than they make over Roberto's. Just keep your ears open. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's usually my go-to. And outside of that, oh my gosh.
She's crushed right now, so she's shocked right now.
Yeah,
so it's
I
hard
have to tell you, I
shake that off,
don't
don't you?
normally
It
give.
it really does.
I don't
Like what?
normally give restaurant reviews, but we did eat at Joe Jack's. So we've been going there for 15 years. The other day, and we usually sit on the rooftop.
Yeah.
But this time we were downstairs, and we were seated between the bar and the kitchen.
That's
And
kinda
I
tight area
was
there.
so impressed and amazed by their staff that I actually called Joe over and said to him, it has been an absolute pleasure to watch your community working together like a team. So the food came out super hot because anyone who was standing next to it when the chef put it up carried it out. And nobody came back to the kitchen empty-handed. Every dirty plate or glass was collected on their way back to the kitchen. Every time they had an interaction with our table, they wiped and cleaned it. The bartenders, I think there was 4 or 5 of them that night behind the bar, just all working just to get things out and flowing smoothly. The food was great. The price was reasonable.
What'd you eat?
Oh my gosh, we had the spinach and artichoke dip and the bruschetta for an appetizer, and then I had the fish and chips, and Bob had the Baja fish tacos.
See, so the fish and chips are kind of famous over there.
They are.
Are they that good? Are they that good, Denise?
It was pretty good,
Yeah?
and I think it might be the tartar sauce with the little capers. Yeah, it
and
was just,
they use a light batter on the fish rather
not too
than
thick.
a thick battered fish, which just
it
sucks
was
up the oil.
really lovely. Yeah. But it was the watching the sense of community of their staff, and that not one person took the "it's not my job" attitude.
It was a big team effort.
It was a total team effort, and it just became a pleasure to observe it while we were eating. And from my perspective, that's Indigenous values in action. You know, it's about the collective, it's about the community, it's about the family. And as the person dining, we were the beneficiaries of that attitude, and it was lovely. It was really lovely. So I took the time to write about it on TripAdvisor, to tell Joe about it before I left, and I tipped generously because I know they'll also share the tip. So I don't think it matters where you go in Puerto Vallarta. It could be a good experience, and it's partially about our attitudes as well. I can say that Bob and I had one situation where we were staying in a hotel, and there was another couple there in the pool, and the gentleman was complaining about his previous evening's dining experience because he said that they didn't have good ketchup here in Puerto Vallarta, and that he was feeling that because as an American he was coming here regularly and supporting their economy, they should be importing some Heinz or something of value to meet his ketchup needs.
Here.
It was a little bit hard to take sitting in the pool with this couple, and I can honestly say, like
ketchup shares. That's what it was. Ketchup shares.
Yeah, 15 years later, Bob and I, we refer to him as Wisconsin because that happens to be where the gentleman came from. 15 years later, we still talk about Wisconsin. Right?
Yeah. Because don't be ugly. Don't be ugly. You know, take what you get.
You're in another person's country. Be appreciative. Enjoy the differences. Have the cultural experience. And if Heinz is important to you, stay home.
You know what I found so surprising,
Bring
though,
it.
is like
Bring yourself.
I don't have a problem with somebody complaining about the ketchup here in Mexico. Complain all you want, but that's what you get. But, you know, what surprised me is this is a person from Wisconsin. If you're going to talk about anything, I think you're going to talk about cheese or pork.
Right.
Come on. I don't know squat about ketchup.
Get it straight, everybody. Come on. That's right. Are you shilling for the Heinz
Coming
company?
from a
What's going on
Canadian.
with you guys?
Tell the Wisconsinians how to be a Wisconsinian.
There you go. There you go.
Anyway, you slice it, Barry. We've been here 40 times. It's been 20 years of travel to Puerto Vallarta. We never regret it. We love every moment. The people are wonderful, warm, and fabulous. And every peso we spend is worth it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You guys have a word of advice for a first-time visitor to Puerto Vallarta?
Don't be fearful. You know, if you see locals lined up outside a street food vendor, it's a safe place to eat. Don't assume that if you are finding yourself in the bathroom that it's because of something you've consumed. It's more than likely the humidity, the temperature, and that you're drinking more alcohol and eating more fresh fruit than you normally do at home. Walk the streets. It's safe. And if you are out at 3 a.m. on a dark beach and something happens, assume it's because it's 3 a.m. and you're on a dark beach and not about the people of Puerto Vallarta.
Right.
Yeah. Just
Don't put yourself
enjoy.
in trouble,
Get out
yeah.
and be in the community and enjoy. It's a wonderful place.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, I think that get out, walk around, see the people, smile. Guess what? They smile back. It can be a lot of fun. I don't know that there'd be anything to, you know, like, I don't want to be any sort of a Donnie Downer, but I mean, hey, just get out and have fun. If you think you don't want to do it, maybe just give it a try. Or, you know what, check it out.
Yeah.
And get off the property, get off the couch. Even though it's a pandemic and I'm not really getting off the couch or out of the pool too well this time, I will next.
There you go. There you go. Well, I want to thank you both for coming on the show today, and I knew you both were going to have some great stories to tell me. I love you both, and I'm so happy that we're here together in Puerto Vallarta. And thanks for sharing your experiences with my listeners. It's a gold mine. I appreciate it.
Love you
Thanks,
too, Barry.
Barry.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you.
All right, Bob and Denise, thank you for sharing your stories. You're so funny. If anybody has a coconut shrimp suggestion for Denise, she really would appreciate it, okay? Yes, Roberto retired. Lo siento, amiga. I'm sorry. So anyway, if you take anything away from this podcast, remember the lessons learned by Boob. I mean, never mind. All right. That should do it for today. Next week, I will be in Puerto Vallarta. I'll be doing a show from there and posting it as well. So look forward to, seeing how that goes. Stay tuned for more on-the-ground reports from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, with travel tips, great restaurant excursion ideas, and more. But until then, remember that this is an interactive show where I depend on your questions and your suggestions about all things Puerto Vallarta. If you think of something that I should be talking about, well, please reach out to me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending us your message. And remember, if you're considering booking any type of tour while you're in Puerto Vallarta, you must go to vallartainfo.com. That's JR's website, and reserve your tour through him right from his website. Remember, this is a value-for-value proposition. His experience and on-the-ground knowledge of everything Puerto Vallarta in exchange for your making a purchase of a tour that you would do anyway. You're just doing it through him as a way of saying thank you. Thanks, JR, for being our guide. It costs no more than if you were going to use someone else, so do it, really. And when you do take one of those tours, email me about your experiences. Maybe you can come on board and share with others what you liked or didn't like about the tour. Again, contact me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending off a message. And don't forget, he's got his maps, his DIY tours, his revitalized happy hour board, and more. And I have links to all of those in the show notes. And once again, if you like this podcast, please take the time and subscribe and Give me a good review wherever you happen to be listening to the show, or better yet, share this podcast with a friend who might enjoy learning a little bit about Puerto Vallarta. And that way we can get the word out to more people about the magic of this place, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. If you haven't been to my website, you really need to have a look there. I have links to the places that we talk about, interesting pictures and more, all right there in my blog posts and in the show notes for each episode of the show. So check them out for sure if you haven't already. All right? All right. Well, thank you to Robina Oliver, the Mermaid Queen. Thanks for helping out, Johnny. You are a true angel. And you can help out as well by joining that Facebook group, Johnny's Fan Club for Donors. I have a link, or look for the eyeglass search function in the Facebook page there. Look for Johnny's Fan Club for Donors there. Click and see what's happening. And Bob and Denise McCuaig, thank you so much for inviting me up to the roof for a few laughs, a few pops. You are the hosts with the mosts. And thanks for that great story. Oh, great story. And thanks to all of you for listening all the way through this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. This is Barry Kessler signing off with a wish for you to slow down, be kind, and live the Vallarta lifestyle. Nos vemos, amigos.
Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de amor junto al mar. Solo camino, pero por la playa me encuentro junto al río. Cuando todo está en calma, pronto cae la noche, brillas Puerto Vallarta.